So we had a chance to look at how adding that employer funding of the HSA impacted the coverage diagram and also impacted the employer cost. Now, the other important area that's impacted when we add funding, either HSA or HRA, is our net out of pocket. So we've talked about the idea that this green shaded column really is identifying employee impact in terms of financial impact of claims or out of pocket exposure. And without funding, that number has always been the same as the max out of pocket under the medical plan. But the idea is we want to be able to incorporate in how that employer funding of HSA or HRA is really impacting that employee's exposure in terms of claims. And that's where the term net out of pocket comes in. Now, that really is a term that was created out of an employer focus group around a discussion that when we're comparing options that have funding attached to them, we want to be looking at that net impact to the employee. In other words, when looking at this plan design, the 4,000 is not the important number. When we compare against other plan design options, we really want to be focusing on what the employee's claim exposure is, taking into consideration that HSA funding. So in other words, net out of pocket is always going to be the max out of pocket of the carrier plan as a starting point, and then is going to be reduced by any HSA or HRA funding. Again, to get us what the net out of pocket cost is to the employee, taking into consideration that funding. So that's an important term to identify with employers, make sure they understand what that's speaking to when we start to introduce funding in our plan design options.